Hi guys, in this video I'm going to show you guys how to place parts and actually constrain them so you can make a chassis or whatever you want to make. So the first step is click place. Make sure you're in the right folder, make sure that the files of type is all files, and click the part that you want to place. As you can see, when you click it, it'll show you a preview. Click open. If you click, it'll place it like this. And Inventor will just continually allow you to place. But before you place, you can also choose to rotate it along an axis. So I'm going to rotate it along the y-axis. Now I have 4 U-channels. I'm done placing, so I will just click escape. As you can see, now I have 4 blocks. What I would usually do now is start constraining. So constraining is creating a set of relationships in between two parts, which make it move, or allow it to move rather, in a very specific way. So there are two types of main constraints that we will be using. It would be the mate constraint and the flush constraint. So you have the mate constraint. The mate constraint makes two planes touch each other. What I mean by that is I can choose this face and this face. And what the mate constraint will do is it will make this face and this face touch each other. But what's interesting is in Inventor, the pieces don't actually always have to touch when you're mating, which sounds contradictory, but what I mean by that is, as you can see, these faces are touching. But Inventor mates the two planes, so it's always along this plane. But before I continue further, I'm going to just ground this piece because it's just a good habit to have. I always use to ground a piece. So that's the first type, the mate constraint. And I'll show you another example of this if I were to constrain something further. Like I want this, okay. I want this face to touch this face. Again, it's now in action. So I'm just going to click OK. An interesting thing for Inventor is when you are constraining something, for instance, this face and let me choose something else. This face and this face. Before you click apply, if it is a valid relationship, Inventor will allow you to preview what that looks like. See? This U-channel is touching this U-channel, which is exactly what I want. So if it is indeed what you want, you can just go ahead and click apply or OK. Now everything is mated. There is also another type of really useful constraint that we can have in Inventor. That's the flush constraint. So the flush constraint makes two planes align with each other so that everything's on the same level. So mate makes things touch each other, but flush makes everything on the same level. So as you can see from the front, if I look at it, this channel is obviously higher than this channel, and that's not what I want. I want everything to be on the same level. So then I could click that face and that face, and flush would make them on the same level. And if I clicked OK, then it couldn't move. So you can just flush and mate. But very commonly in Inventor, you can have errors. For instance, for this one, as you saw, I literally just made these two the same level. But if I accidentally click this and this, that wouldn't work out because these can't be on the same level if these are already on the same level. What that means is a warning sign that you can usually see is, as you saw when I selected those two, Autodesk Inventor did not show me a preview of what that relationship would look like because that relationship couldn't exist. So if it doesn't show you a preview, it's safe to assume that the constraint that you just placed is probably has an error. And you can see that more if you choose to click apply. It'll show you this screen, which means the assembly cannot be solved because the new relationship conflicts with an existing relationship. So There are 4 things that it prompts you that you could possibly do. You could accept it, which is usually not what you want to do. You could diagnose it, which would be when Autodesk tells you exactly what you did wrong. So in this case, it would be it's wrong because this relationship, this face is already with this face, so you can't have this on the same flush as that. You could cancel the operation, which means that you click the wrong thing, you don't want to do it anymore, or you could edit it, which means you choose a different face. So I'm just going to cancel it for now. An interesting thing about Autodesk Inventor is for a lot of things it allows redundancy. So as you can see, if I click this face and this face and click apply, it won't allow it. And the reason it won't allow it is because, let's just say you diagnosed. The relationships between these 2 components, they already exist, which means that you can't do the same thing over and over again because that would make a lot of things a lot harder. So, another thing, if I wanted to flush this and this, nice, but it won't work. And what you can see is if I choose to accept the relationship, which is not usually a good idea, when you click this part and you drop down, you can see all the relationships. It shows that that mate can't exist because this flush exists. So in that case, you could choose to delete this relationship because there's a little inconsistent, it's not good. You could choose to delete it, recover it, or suppress it. Recovering it does not always work. So usually with these, you just want to delete it. So that's just the basic overview of how to use the mate and flush constraints in Inventor.